Shalum. Shalom and welcome. Welcome to the channel. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah, and these are the words I'm compelled to present before an awakening, set-apart nation. To those who are drawn by the Almighty Father, Yahuah, to his word that was manifest before us in the name of Yahusha, from the virgin birth to walking among us, to the sacrifice, to the resurrection. It is the name that the Almighty Father Yahuah sent his set-apart spirit in, Yahusha, as written in John 14:26. If you are tuning in for the first time, you will find out that this series, Seed to Harvest, runs parallel to tidbits, nuggets of wisdom that the Almighty Father gave us from the very beginning. Tidbits that shows how from conception to birth and beyond, there's a parallel bit of wisdom we can learn as it relates to being born again and growing in wisdom and growing in maturity and set-apartness. Seed to harvest. In this segment, I will show the parallel that I speak of. And this one is called, I Got This. You see, when a baby is born, at some point during that early stages of a baby, the baby reaches out and grabs for whatever he or she can grab. And by actions, they say, I got this. I got this. Sometimes they are correct if they're grabbing towards the breast to feed, or grabbing towards the bottle to feed, or even trying to hold a spoon at some point to eat or grab food to eat. Sometimes their actions speak, I got this. But there are times that the baby reaches for things that they should not. Like when they grab your hair, your beard, when they pull on your mouth, your ears, when they grab at anything that their hands can get around, that displays actions of I got this. So just as a baby needs guidance on what to grab, what to hold on to, they need guidance, training, development. And I will submit to you, O Yahusha, just as a baby learns, so it is with us, when we're born again. We grab at the scriptures, we grab at what's presented before us. Some things we don't know any better. We'll listen to what anyone will tell us regarding the scriptures and their positions of belief, even teachings and practices. But sometimes there are mistakes made. I got this. Believing that you read something and taking it and running with it. And I'll present the case why I got this has its priorities, has its place. Come with me, Yahusha. Let's get into this. Let's open it up and see what I got this has to offer. I'll present the case regarding connections versus possessions. You see, connections is like putting a puzzle together. You put the pieces together the way they're supposed to be assembled. You end up with a picture, a complete and clear picture. Possession is just having pieces of the puzzles, but they're not put in their place. They're not connected properly, but you have possession of the elements of that puzzle. So it is when we say, I got this. Sometimes we don't recognize that there are pieces to the puzzle. Sometimes what we possess, we think that's enough. We don't look at the connections. My brothers and sisters, let me begin with this in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, 15 through 19. For it says, see that no one renders evil for evil to anyone, but always pursue what is good, both for yourselves and for all. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, in all circumstances give thanks. For this is the desire of the Almighty One and Messiah, Yahusha, for you. Do not quench the spirit. You see, my brothers and sisters, if we're going to say we got this, there's something we must realize, and that's being able to discern what it is we grab and hold to. What it is do we say we have when we demonstrate such actions? It's so important to examine things before grabbing it. It's so important to examine things before stepping out and responding as though you understand and you have not fully prayed and sought to discern whether it's good or not. Allow me to also read Philippians 1:9 through 11 says, and this I pray, that your love might extend more and more in knowledge and all discernment. Discernment is when the Spirit of Yahusha reveals to you, to us. That is the ultimate discernment. It says, for you to examine the matters that differ in order to be sincere and not stumbling into the day of Messiah, being filled with the fruit of righteousness through Yahusha Messiah, to the esteem and praise of the Almighty One. Let me continue with Galatians, 5th chapter, verse 16 and 17. Come with me to Galatians 5, 16 and 17. It reads, and I say, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not accomplish the lust of the flesh. And I'm reading from the Scripture Version 2009. It goes on to say, for the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are opposed to each other, so that you do not do what you desire to do. You see, the flesh will war against the Spirit. That Spirit is our inward man. That inward man that is joined, that is renewed, that is born again by the power and might of the Almighty Father. Drop down to the 25th and 26th verse of that same chapter, 5th chapter. And one could read, if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another. Yasharal, oh Yasharal. I got this. Do we? Do we really? Be informed, there are those who stop short of the truth. And there are those who overstate what is set apart. Balance is achieved by discerning what the voice of Yahuah says. The voice of Yahuah which comes in the name of his word, Yahusha. For in walking, praying without ceasing, walking filled with the Spirit, we will discover the discipline needed to be mindful of the things we grab hold on. I'm going to share some more scriptures. Stay with me, my brothers and sisters. We also have those who are quick to say, I got this, unaware of discerning the truth of the matter. It is best to avoid trying to box in living orders and instructions from the Spirit of Yahuah, who comes to us in the name of his word, Yahusha. No Trinity, my brothers and sisters. By saying Yahusha, we recognize that he is a reflection of the word of Yahuah, so that we're able to have fellowship with he who is the Almighty One. And that is through his word. So when we say Yahusha, we acknowledging that that is the word Yahuah uses to speak to us, for us to speak to him. This is why it says no man can come unto the Father except by the Son, for he is our mediator. Going through the word, understanding the word. Beware of those who say, I got this, for we often see incomplete actions that can further lead to regret and pain. Yes, my brothers and sisters. Excitement comes for the newborn babe, the newly awakened. We're excited. Set apart Yahushua, we are a body of one with many members and with different functions. Believe it or not, we just may not have the capacity to say, I got this. We are not silos. We are not alone. The need to expect help should always be considered. Saying I got this sometimes can imply I don't need anyone else. I don't need anything else. But this is not always the case. For such a time as this, O Yahushua, it's important to walk in wisdom. It's important to be prayerful at all times. Allow me to bring attention to 1 Corinthians 3, verses 4 through 9. 1 Corinthians 3, 4 through 9 say, when one says, I am a Shalum, and another says, I am Apollos, are you not fleshly? What then is Apollos, and what is Shalum? But servants through whom you believe as the master assigned to each. I planted, Apollos watered, but the Almighty One was giving growth. Some translations will say, one planted, one watered, and it is Yahuah that gives the increase. It says, so neither by he who plants nor he who waters is any at all, but the Almighty One who gives the increase. And he who plants and he who waters are one, and each one shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are fellow workers of the Almighty One. You are the field of the Almighty One, the building of the Almighty One, O Yahushua. We are many members, but of one body. My brothers and sisters, I'm going to give you an example. And I want you to take or make note to revisit the story of Adam and Eve. I submit to you, they demonstrated actions that related to words. I got this. You see, Satan did not give them the whole story regarding eating the forbidden fruit. He told them they'll be as the Almighty One. He didn't tell them they couldn't handle the truth. He didn't tell them that would sever their relationship with Yahuah. He didn't tell them that they would cause the sin of mankind for generations to generations. He didn't give them the full picture. But they jumped out there and ate that fruit, saying in their actions, I got this. Then they saw they were naked, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to handle it. Yeah, one can say they knew what to do. They put figs around their waist. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they did. Was it because of their eyes, quote unquote, was opened? Nevertheless, my point is their actions were actions as though I got this. And they did not. They did not know the complete story. End times are bringing challenges, my brothers and sisters. Challenging times that we've never imagined. We may have spoken of it, but never thought that we would be in the midst of it. Let us be mindful. For in Colossians 4:5 it says, walk in wisdom toward those who are outside, redeeming the time. Let us not be quick to say, I got this, my brothers and sisters. Lest we fall short. Let us not overstep the orders given by the voice of the Spirit of Yahuah. And as I state, I'll state again. His voice comes in Yahusha's name. Are there times when there are exceptions to the rule? Indeed. If we study the book of Exodus, one could see that there were exceptions to the rule, the text, on more than one occasion. We don't read of Yahushua stoning everyone, killing everyone who violated the law, who violated the commandment. What size would our population be If everyone took that rule and said, I got this, let's stone them, let's kill them. My brothers and sisters, mistakes will be made if you took that rule and ran with it. If you took examples of scriptures and ran with it, it can create a problem, my brothers and sisters. If we set a rule too quickly to stone a person by taking the lead and saying, I got this, let's stone them, what would that resemble? Mistakes, O Yahusha, mistakes is what it resembles. Consider these words in Deuteronomy, chapter 13, verses 6 through 10. It says, when your brother, the son of your mother, or your son or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom or your friend, who is as your own being, entices you secretly, saying, let's go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, of mighty ones of the people which are all around you, near to you, or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Do not agree with him, or listen to him, nor shall your eye pardon him, nor spare him, or conceal him, but you shall certainly kill him. Your hands is first against him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people, and you shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from Yahuah, your Almighty One, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage. What if we did this all the time? What type of chaos do you think would erupt if we did not understand the wisdom of the laws and instructions given by the Almighty Father? Those who are quick to say they obey the 10 Commandments, laws, and statutes of Abba Yahuah, but ignore discerning his living voice, his spirit that comes to us in Yahusha's name, may overstep their boundaries, thinking they got this. Yahusha, or Yahusha. My brothers and sisters, let us remember, it is the Almighty Father who brings the beginning and the end to matters. Avoid being seduced by the spirit that promotes the words and behavior that can fit into the narrative, I got this, that fits into that category. You see, my brothers and sisters, just as one of the Pharisees jumped out there and challenged Yahusha regarding Shabbat, reading the laws regarding and instructions regarding Shabbat, but neglecting all the teachings and actions of the Almighty Father, Yahusha had to correct them by saying Shabbat was made for man, not man for Shabbat. You see, so stepping out there all by yourself to lead others to follow you could be a big mistake. If you visit Numbers, you will see in Numbers, my brothers and sisters, bear with me, where Dathan, Abiram, and Korah, you will see there a time when they jumped out there challenging Musha. Bear with me a second, my brothers and sisters. You would think as much as I've spoken of this, I would have it memorized. Yes, 16th chapter Numbers, go there. 3 individuals said, I got this, and challenged Musha and Aharon. And the end result was all 3 of them were killed along with their families, their children, and their households, and all that was with them. Just because they jumped out there saying, I got this. I believe this is probably one of the first sinkholes to ever erupt. But my point is, my brothers and sisters, before we say we got this, let us know what we are dealing with. Let us seek to discern what we are working with. Yahusha, my brothers and sisters, that's all I have to say on this subject. Just do not be over anxious, nor be slothful. Know when to wrap your hand around the things that the Almighty Father provides and gives. Know how to respond. For as we fellowship with one another, as we submit ourselves to leadership, chosen, anointed leaders, or if we are anointed to lead, whatever has been brought before us, let us see the connections that confirm the wholeness in the set-apart nation, the set-apart family, the one body with many members. Let us recognize connections that we can be made whole, and we will be made whole. Possessions is not what it's about, my brothers and sisters, if you're just looking at any possessions. So be wise, be careful what you latch on to. Teachings, behaviors. Just as we protect our children when their actions say, I got this, before they can even say those words, when their actions speak such, we are prepared to guide them, to correct them, to instruct them. Let us be the same with one another. Let us be as iron sharpen iron, to protect, to guide, to contribute towards maturity. Pray, O Yahusha, for chaos, civil unrest, economic upheaval, wars and rumors of wars, disease, famine, and pestilence. They are rising and will emerge. A sense of urgency will come. We will reach out and seek out the things to do, where to go, with whom, and what should we take with us? What would be our destination? There's a lot of work. There's a lot of information to obtain. So do not have your hands filled with things that reflect, I got this, and it blocks you from opening your hands to grab what you should be grabbing, what we should be grabbing. Yahusha, I pray that each of us grow to discern the voice of the Spirit of Yahuah. Let us recognize that his voice comes to us in Yahusha's name. For it is the word of the Spirit of Yahusha that teach us, guide us, that helps us, that comfort us. And comfort will come in understanding what must and what will be done. My brother, my sister, my family. Seek to discern. Be encouraged. The Almighty Father will prove all promises will be fulfilled. All prophecies will be fulfilled. Are you ready? Are you prepared to say, I got this? Grabbing the right things? Being on the right path? That's it, my brothers and sisters, for now. There's much more to come, so stay tuned. If this was a nugget, a nudge, something to think about or pray about before grabbing and latching on to a camp, a community, a fellowship, a teacher, a pastor, a deacon, a wife, a husband, walk in wisdom, we will discover the joys of obedience to the Almighty Father. On that note, consider subscribing, share, like, my brothers and sisters. Pass the message on. If it helped you in any way, I know it was brief, and it may have seemed redundant, but did it nudge you? Did it give you something to think about? Let someone else have that same opportunity. Share, my brothers and sisters. On that note, Shalum.